What is up, guys? We are back here. We got a nice little roll coming up here with Pedro. Pedro started off the round by telling me how he was going to get smashed the whole time, and I was like, dude, I think the last time we rolled, you got me with a calf slicer, so don't come in here with that. I'm not going to listen to it. He tried to get in my head early, tried to use some reverse psychology, but I wasn't having it. And guys, I know Pedro's wearing a blue belt, but you'll see from this roll that he is at least purple. And so I know to take this not seriously, but at least I know that he's going to be coming for me. I know that he knows what he's doing. And I have a deep underhook right here. Deep, what is it? Not underhook, deep half guard. And I usually like this position, but I think I was still more mentally concerned with that far arm at this point. I wasn't thinking too strongly in regards to what I was doing to roll him. But this is a very strong position if you know what you're doing. And I see that arm switch where I come on this far side arm. I'm honestly not sure why I did that. That's really going to be a first mistake that I'm seeing here that I'm making. I shouldn't have done that because that's going to allow him to get to a more deep triangle-esque position. And I think he gets me there at some point. Yep, here it is. Yep, see, I roll right into it. Now, luckily, you see how his hips are kind of on the side of my head? It's not going to let him completely tighten it up. And it was tight. Let me tell you that. It was very, very, very tight. But it was not at a closing pressure, if you will. And so I was very much trying to be careful here, because I know I've had some neck issues in the past, and there's no reason ever to get your neck messed up, especially if you're going with your ego. And I was trying to avoid going straight to my back because I felt like if I got on my back, then he would have been able to finish it. So I just kind of kept pressuring in, and he got to a point where he's like, all right, I got to switch and go to something else. So I wore him out, if you will. But guys, keep in mind, this guy is not, I mean, he is a blue belt, but he's not a blue belt, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I think he's bounced around a little, but very good, solid competitor. He's trained MMA before, so he has that it factor, that adrenaline go factor. Him being on my back is obviously a lot better than when his legs around my neck. So I'm satisfied with where he's at. I felt that little hook go in the back there. You see how his left leg is underneath my right? I didn't really know what to think of that, but I remember feeling it and thinking, I don't want to be here. Now, luckily I could turn in, kind of re-get my guard. And he's going to start going for that leg, which again, he got me with a calf slicer before the very first time we rolled. So I know that he has in his repertoire everything. And now I have his far leg. I'm in a kind of X guard position, not specifically. You can see my leg isn't perfect here because it's coming out from under. I'm trying to turn on it, but the problem right here, I think, and I'm just noticing this, is that my top foot isn't in the right position, and he rolls and he gets a good grip on my foot, goes for a toe hold, and again, it's not too hard, but I do know to be careful with this as he does know these positions. Or I'm at least assuming he does. If you got a calf slicer, this is not too far off the... A toe hold is definitely something you learn before a calf slicer. So here we go. I'm trying to invert. I always love inverting. It's one of my favorite things to do. He comes up on that inversion. In a good passing position, but I regain my guard by bringing that foot around. Probably should maintain my grips a bit better on that far side. I'm not too worried here. A lot of people like passing from this position where Pedro is. But personally, I don't mind it. I don't mind being in guard right here, as I know to just kind of keep my knees wide. Because see, you try to force them in. People will always try to smash, but if your knees are wide, then it doesn't give them any leverage to actually connect your knees and pass. All right, so now you see here, I'm grabbing over. I wanted to really go for a butterfly sweep that I really like doing, but Pedro, again, athletic. He's solid, was able to base out of it and keep his balance very well. Now we go for the far side arm, leg. I'm probably going to go for a De La Hiva. Yep, you can see that leg starting to come in. Oh, and then a nice little, just kind of like a modified scissor sweep. I don't know if he was just waiting to take a hand of that leg or what, but just fell over. So I'll take it. I'm happy. So now we see Pedro in his guard. He's trying to isolate that arm with like my gi, but it's nothing too threatening at this point. And he goes to throw on a triangle, which again, I'm not too worried about. My arm is getting a little bit extended, but again, his hips are so far away from my shoulder that I'm not too worried about it. I know if I keep that pressure on his far side leg, I keep that open, there's not really anything he can do. I want to follow my arm, so I'm stepping through. And I probably should have got a better grip around the head. That would have probably given me an opening to pass his guard. But again, don't let the blue belt defunk you. Don't let the blue belt fool you. Now I'm kind of trying to set up a cross collar choke. I'm not, obviously, if you look at the time, I'm not going to have time to fully pull it off. And it's kind of difficult sitting up. Usually you need to be sitting back in order to get it. And time's going to expire. So thank you, Pedro, for the roll. I appreciate it. Always a good time rolling with him. And guys, as always, a good time for you listening. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.